I think there's awesome news when it comes to ICP. And what is that? That's regarding something called Caffeine AI. And I actually talked about it in my previous video. However, now there's an update. And what is that update? In my previous video, I was talking about July 15th and the event that was going to happen for Caffeine AI in San Francisco. But now the event is over. And basically, in that event, they showcased Caffeine AI. Now, why do I think this could be, maybe a good thing? It's because if we take a look at, AI, right? We see use cases for like, these search platforms to ask questions and whatnot. There's a bunch of possibilities, but really, I think sometimes people don't think about, building apps in some cases because allegedly Caffeine AI is the world's first ever self-writing apps platform. As a matter of fact, allegedly, it's even been noted that Caffeine is a self-writing apps platform, the first complete tech stack designed for AI, where humans build through conversation only. Now, keep in mind though, when it comes to Caffeine, I still think that when it comes to this, when it comes to their computer, I think the narrative is still up in the air in a sense that this is just, I think, the beginning. But I'm still very excited nonetheless. And again, why do I think it's still kind of the beginning? It's because even not too long ago, they said that, individuals have to apply for early access to Caffeine AI. So, I mean, again, I think the narrative is still potentially years before I can even think about how good it could be. But I think this, if anything, showcases the kind of mindset that I think Dfinity has. I think it's only fair for me to assume if I believe in this space, if I think that more things are going to pop up in the future in terms of projects and also applications, I think some of them might want to, let's say in some cases, these developers, can't they request AI for, a little bit of assistance, maybe in some cases? So when I take a look at Caffeine I don't see why it's a bad thing. Now, again, there still needs to be time because I think mass adoption could take quite a while. But then I just like the concept nonetheless. Now, when I take a look at something like their computer, people like to say, oh, it's kind of a bad project and all this type of stuff. Well, I disagree with that because if it was so bad, would the average cost per instruction allegedly be over 40 million times less expensive than Ethereum? I don't think so. Also, on top of that, would it allegedly, it's even been noted, right, that for $1 worth of smart contract data, allegedly you can get around 40 bytes on Ethereum, whereas on the internet computer, it's been noted over 200 million bytes. So that's a totally night and day difference. Now, Ethereum, it's always going to be more popular than this, in my opinion. So I'm not saying that the internet computer is more popular or something like that. But then in terms of the fundamentals, I mean, we have to think about that. This is the way to take a look at it. Not to mention the internet computer and its integration with Solana not too long ago. I think that was a big victory as well. So anyway, take a look at it. I don't think the internet computer is bad, at least in my perspective. Now, even though nothing I say is financial advice, ICP at the price of $100, that's still what I have my mind on. Now, only time will tell, but then the way you take a look at it is that with the stuff coming out when it comes to the internet computer, this wouldn't seem at least too surprising to me because the way you take a look at it is that people oftentimes in this space, as of right now, at least from what I see, they usually care about the narrative, they care about the story, they care more so about kind of the idea of what something wants to be as opposed to the adoption. Because let's face it, the internet computer, as good as I like it, I don't think it has the best adoption out there, right? If it was only purely based off of the adoption, I don't think it would be as massive as it is as of right now. So when people like to say, oh, Caffeine AI doesn't have the best adoption, well, yeah, I mean, it just basically started, right? But then at the same time, that sometimes could also be a pretty good narrative nonetheless, especially when there is a fully fledged type of altcoin season, which as of right now, we're seeing altcoins beginning to have a small recovery. Many of them are still way down from where they were once, months before. But then I do like what I'm seeing nonetheless. Now, not to mention, ICP at the price of $100, considering current circulating supply, market cap at that point would be around $53.5 billion, which is around a 17x from here. Now, the way to take a look at it is that when it comes to this market cap, right, let's say ICP never went to $100, let's say even $50, right? That's around an 8x from here. What is Bitcoin going to do in the next 6 to 10 months? I don't know if it could do an 8x. This is my perspective. I mean, 300 grand, some people are saying for Bitcoin, but that's like under a 3x from here. I'm not necessarily saying anything about Bitcoin in a way where, I'm telling people to do this or that. I'm not saying that, right? I'm not telling anyone to do anything with ICP either, but this is just my perspective. Ethereum going to 10 grand is, again, around a 3x from here. The way I take a look at it is that when it comes to Ethereum and Bitcoin, they're doing good right now, but I don't know if I necessarily want to believe in that right now, if that makes sense. I mean, imagine if ICP, for whatever reason, went to the price of like $80 or something like that, right? Would I be like, oh man, time for me to just take all my projects and believe in this? I would not do that. You know what I mean? Because at that point, the journey has already been kind of far. I would rather believe before, but then I did not believe in Bitcoin like 10 years ago. I did not believe in Ethereum many, many years ago. So then, as of right now, I would much rather choose ICP. This is just my mentality, though. I'm not telling anyone to do anything, but this is just the way I take a look at it. When it comes to the internet computer, also, I think something that people often kind of overlook is the fact that it could maybe even just improve these type of, I would say, decentralized applications. Now, let me explain what I mean by this. It's because when it comes to this, I'm not directly talking about Caffeine AI, but I'm talking about how allegedly the internet computer can connect Web 2 and Web 3 without oracles. Now, keep in mind, Chainlink, very massive project. Pyth Network, very massive. What are they heavily focused on? Oracles. So if, let's say, the internet computer can indeed, right, connect Web 2 and Web 3 without oracles, allegedly, that would be a total game changer, indicating somewhat that Chainlink and Pyth, what they're kind of focused on, is maybe a little bit obsolete, arguably. Now, I'm not going to say that it's going to make them just disappear because they have too many fans, the adoption is too good. But let's just think about why this is revolutionary. It's because usually, right, the way you take a look at it is that when it comes to these oracles, they're basically data feeds that bring data from off the chain, aka off-chain data. They bring that over into the blockchain, and the reason for that is to help decentralized applications function properly. Now, again, Chainlink, Pyth, they're heavily focused on this. But then the internet computer can allegedly kind of bypass that, connect Web 2 and Web 3 without oracles. So then why would there even be a really big need for Chainlink or Pyth? Now, don't get me wrong, I'm still very bullish on Chainlink and Pyth. And I think, adoption again takes a long time. So it's not necessarily something that concerns me in the short term for those projects. But then the way you take a look at it is that, isn't that kind of revolutionary a little bit for the computer? This is just my perspective. And now, why haven't I given up on ICP? Because I get it. ICP, slight recovery, a little bit. I mean, not that much. I mean, a bunch of altcoins are not really doing that much either. But I'm just saying, why am I not giving up? It's because even though Bitcoin's doing very well, even though Ethereum's doing very well, if we ever see a fully fledged type of altcoin season, I saw what happened to ICP not too long ago, and that was not, I don't think, a fully fledged type of altcoin season. So if there was a fully fledged type of altcoin season, and then we have all this stuff as of right now, especially when it comes to Caffeine AI, also kind of the narrative when it comes to their computer, $100, that would not surprise me. However, only time will tell because I do not know the future. But at the same time, I mean, I just like the bullish factors that I'm seeing as of right now when it comes to the space overall. Over 600 million crypto owners allegedly right now, which is, again, allegedly more than ever before in history. Back in 2021, during the peak of that bull run, around 300 million crypto owners. So we basically have double now. And also a lot of, speculation over which of these projects that have pending ETFs to maybe have ETFs, right? Because now we're beginning to see many other projects out there, beyond just like Ethereum or Bitcoin, have these like ETF proposals. So if, let's say, more gets approved and let's say the fully fledged type of altcoin season happens, it wouldn't surprise me if it, let's say, looked better maybe than back in 2021, just due to the more amount of crypto owners, due to the, institutional, I would say, adoption and whatnot. I just think that the factors as of right now could very well look more bullish than back then. But generally speaking, when it comes to the internet computer as of right now, all I can do is stay patient. When it comes to ICP, I'm just holding, waiting, and maybe that's about it. We'll see what happens. But if this kind of continues till near the end of this year, man, I'm very excited. I'm just staying patient as of right now. I did that before. I'm going to do that currently as well. And feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I would greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch you on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.